Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Emily Teaching English. I'm Emily.
And I'm Tom. We're so happy you're joining us today.
Tom, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Did you do anything unusual this morning?
Actually, I did.
Really? What happened?
I made my bed.
You made your bed?
Yes.
That's the unusual part?
Well, I don't always do it.
So what did you do?
I pulled up the blanket, fixed the pillows, and then just stood there looking at it.
Were you proud?
Very proud.
Why?
For a moment, I felt like I had completely changed my life.
Because you made your bed once?
Every great journey has to begin somewhere.
That's actually true.
And that's exactly what we're talking about today.
Today's topic is all about routines that help us create a better life.
Not a perfect life.
Definitely not.
And we're not talking about those extreme routines.
Where someone wakes up at 4 in the morning,
Runs 10 kilometers,
reads 3 books.
cooks an amazing breakfast before sunrise.
That sounds exhausting.
I think I'd need another night's sleep after a morning like that.
Me too.
Today, we're talking about realistic routines.
Small habits that we can actually keep doing.
We'll talk about mornings,
Our workday,
our evenings.
and what happens when our routines don't go as planned.
Later, we'll also visit Word Tour.
We'll learn 5 useful English expressions.
And in Say It Better,
We'll make some simple English sentences sound more natural.
all right,
Let's begin with the morning.
Emily,
Yes?
our mornings are completely different.
That's very true.
You like to start your day slowly.
And you like to start moving right away.
Exactly.
So, how did you feel when you woke up today?
Honestly,
Yes?
confused.
Confused?
For the first few seconds, I didn't even know what day it was.
That happens sometimes.
Then I remembered it was Monday.
Did that make things better?
Not really.
What do you usually do after your alarm rings?
I stand up immediately.
Really?
Yes,
Why so quickly?
because if I stay in bed,
What happens?
I start negotiating with myself.
Negotiating?
My responsible side says, get up.
And your sleepy side?
It says, 5 more minutes.
Which side usually wins?
The sleepy side is very persuasive.
I know that feeling.
So I've learned that getting out of bed immediately works better for me.
What do you do next?
I open the curtains,
Nice.
wash my face,
Okay.
and walk around for a few minutes.
Why?
My brain needs some movement before it realizes the day is started.
I'm a little different.
Really?
I prefer a slower beginning.
What do you usually do?
I drink some water.
Mm-hmm.
Then I sit quietly for a few minutes.
Before checking your phone?
Exactly.
You just sit there?
Sometimes I look outside.
Sounds peaceful.
Sometimes I simply think about my day.
Why don't you check your phone first?
Because I don't want messages,
News,
social media.
or the weather to be the first things entering my mind.
What about you?
I usually check everything immediately.
Everything?
Messages?
Emails?
Yes,
The weather?
of course.
Social media too?
Yes, and sometimes the news.
That's a lot before breakfast.
It really is.
What happens next?
I open the kitchen cupboard.
Then?
I can't decide what to eat. What?
You might already be experiencing decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue?
Yes.
What's that mean?
It's the mental tiredness that comes from making too many decisions.
So even small choices can make us tired?
Exactly.
Like deciding what to wear,
What to eat,
what to watch?
or which message to answer first.
That actually makes sense.
Every decision uses a little mental energy.
Maybe that's why choosing breakfast sometimes feels so difficult.
Exactly.
How long do you spend choosing your clothes?
It depends.
That usually means a long time.
Maybe 15 minutes.
I solved that problem.
Really?
I choose my clothes the night before.
Every night?
Most nights.
That's a smart habit.
I also have a simple breakfast plan.
You even plan breakfast?
Not a full menu.
Then what?
I simply choose between eggs, yogurt, fruit, or toast.
My breakfast plan usually starts with coffee.
Coffee every day?
Every single day.
Coffee isn't a complete breakfast.
Emotionally, it is.
Your body might have a different opinion,
Probably.
but preparing small things ahead of time really helps
Why?
because fewer decisions make the morning feel lighter.
I completely agree.
Do you make a plan every morning?
Yes.
A long one?
No.
Then what?
I write down the 3 most important things I need to do.
Only 3?
I may finish more.
But those 3 come first?
Exactly.
My list usually has 15 or 20 tasks.
Do you finish them all?
Not even close.
Then what happens?
I move the unfinished tasks to the next day.
And the list gets even longer.
Exactly.
After a few days.
It starts looking like a history book.
And you probably feel behind before you've even started.
That's exactly how it feels.
Maybe try choosing just 3 priorities first.
What about everything else?
You can still do it later.
But I'll know what deserves my best energy.
Exactly.
That sounds much more manageable.
A good routine should make life simpler.
Not become another source of pressure.
I make the same mistake with exercise sometimes.
Really?
I tell myself I'll exercise for 45 minutes every morning.
How long does that routine last?
Usually 2 days.
Very successful 2 days.
Then I wake up late.
And you think there's no point anymore.
Exactly.
But even 10 minutes would still help.
I know.
I'm learning that a smaller routine,
Is much better than giving up completely.
on a normal day, maybe you exercise for 30 minutes.
And on a busy day,
Just move for 5.
5 minutes doesn't sound impressive.
It doesn't need to be impressive.
It just needs to be possible.
That's such a different way to think about routines.
We often believe a better life means doing more.
But sometimes,
It simply means making good habits easier to repeat.
and that's exactly where we'll continue in the next part.
Welcome back. We spent the first part talking about mornings.
And about making life a little simpler.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about something many people struggle with.
Busy work days.
Have you ever looked at your schedule and thought,
There's no way I can finish all of this?
more times than I can count?
Me too.
Sometimes I start the day feeling confident.
What happens?
More emails arrive. Someone asks for help.
Right?
Then another meeting appears on my calendar.
Suddenly, your whole plan changes.
Exactly.
I think many people experience that.
I do too.
Do you know what makes it even harder?
What?
Saying yes to everything.
Oh, that's difficult.
Have you ever done that?
Definitely.
Someone asks, "Can you help me?"
I say yes.
Another person asks for a favor.
I say yes again.
Then another task arrives.
And somehow, I still say yes.
By the end of the day,
I'm wondering why I'm so tired.
That's called overcommitting.
Overcommitting.
It means agreeing to do more than you realistically can.
I think many of us do that without realizing it.
Because we want to be helpful.
Or we don't want to disappoint people.
Exactly.
So what's a better approach?
Learn to protect your time.
That doesn't mean being rude.
Not at all.
It simply means being honest.
Sometimes it's okay to say,
I can't do that today.
or,
Can we do it tomorrow instead?
those are polite answers.
And they're realistic.
I used to think being busy meant being productive.
Do you still think that?
No,
Why not?
because being busy isn't always the same as making progress.
That's a really important difference.
Sometimes we're busy all day.
But we don't finish anything important.
Exactly.
What helps you stay focused?
Taking short breaks.
Really?
Yes,
I used to skip breaks.
so did I.
I thought working longer would help.
But after a while,
My attention started disappearing.
that's happened to me too.
Now I stand up every hour.
What do you do?
I stretch,
Nice.
walk around for a few minutes.
Maybe get some water?
Exactly.
Those little breaks really help.
They help me return with more energy.
Speaking of energy,
Mine usually drops in the afternoon.
around 2 or 3 o'clock?
Every single day.
Me too.
I used to think something was wrong with me.
Actually, that's very common.
So what do you do?
I stop expecting myself to do my hardest work at that time.
That makes sense.
I save easier tasks for the afternoon.
Like answering emails?
Exactly.
And I try to do my most important work earlier.
When your mind feels fresh.
Right.
Let's talk about the end of the workday.
That's another important routine.
Do you finish working and immediately relax?
I wish.
What usually happens?
I keep thinking about work.
Even after you get home?
Yes,
That's exhausting.
it really is.
That's why it's helpful to decompress.
Decompress.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
It means giving your mind time to relax after a busy day.
So you don't carry work into your evening.
Right.
How do you decompress?
Sometimes I go for a walk.
Nice.
Sometimes I listen to quiet music.
That sounds relaxing.
Or I simply sit with a cup of tea for a few minutes.
No phone?
Not right away.
I like that idea.
What about you?
I usually change my clothes first.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Somehow it tells my brain,
Work is finished.
exactly.
That's a simple routine.
But it works.
What about your evenings?
I try to prepare for tomorrow.
In what way?
I pack my bag,
Good idea.
charge my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and check tomorrow's schedule.
That probably makes your mornings easier.
Much easier.
After doing it for a while,
It becomes second nature.
another useful expression.
It means something feels automatic.
Just like brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Do you look at your phone right before going to sleep?
Honestly, yes.
Me too, sometimes.
And then I tell myself,
Just 5 minutes.
30 minutes later,
You're still scrolling.
exactly.
I think many people can relate to that.
Probably.
Building a better evening routine doesn't have to be complicated.
Small changes can make a big difference.
And in the next part,
We'll talk about what happens when our routines get interrupted, why that's completely normal, and we'll learn 5 useful English words in today's word tour.
welcome back. We've talked about morning routines
Busy work days.
and relaxing after work.
Now, let's talk about something that happens to everyone.
Our routines get interrupted.
More often than we'd like.
Exactly.
Emily, has that ever happened to you?
Oh, many times.
Really?
I'll have a perfect plan for the day.
And then?
I wake up late,
That's enough to change everything.
or I receive an unexpected phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes an important meeting appears.
Suddenly, the whole schedule changes.
Exactly.
I used to think that meant I had failed.
I felt the same way.
If I missed one workout,
Or skipped one healthy meal.
I thought the whole week was ruined.
But that's not true, is it?
Not at all.
One difficult day doesn't erase all your progress.
That's such an important reminder.
Good routines should be flexible.
Not fragile.
I like that.
Me too.
Life isn't perfectly predictable.
And our routines shouldn't expect it to be.
Exactly.
So what should we do when things don't go as planned?
Start again.
The very next day?
Or even the very next hour.
We don't have to wait until Monday?
Definitely not.
I think many people fall into that trap.
I'll start again next week.
Or,
Next month.
but every new moment is another chance.
Exactly. Progress doesn't require perfect timing.
It requires consistency.
Speaking of consistency,
Let's review today's main ideas.
good idea. We started with our morning routine.
We learned that small habits are easier to keep.
Then we talked about reducing decision fatigue.
Planning clothes and breakfast ahead of time.
We also learned to focus on 3 important priorities.
Instead of writing impossible to-do lists.
During the workday,
We learned not to overcommit.
and we talked about protecting our time.
We also discovered that short breaks help us stay focused.
After work,
We learned how to decompress.
and create a smoother transition into the evening.
Finally,
We remembered that routines should support us.
not control us.
Exactly.
Now it's time for today's word tour.
Let's begin with our first word.
Decompress.
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 What does it mean?
It means to relax after a busy or stressful situation.
Can you give us an example?
Sure,
Go ahead.
I like to decompress by taking a short walk after work.
That's a great example.
Or,
Reading helps me decompress before bed.
very natural.
Our second word is
Overcommit.
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 What does it mean?
It means agreeing to do more than you can realistically manage.
Like saying yes to everything?
Exactly.
Example?
I overcommitted this week, so I need to slow down.
That's useful.
And very common.
Next,
Second nature.
second nature.
Second nature.
I like this expression.
Me too.
What does it mean?
It means something becomes so familiar that you do it automatically.
Like driving.
Or brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
Example?
Preparing my bag the night before is second nature now.
Perfect.
Our fourth expression is
Decision fatigue.
decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue.
That's a useful one.
It means feeling mentally tired after making too many decisions.
Example?
Decision fatigue makes simple choices feel difficult.
That's very true.
And finally,
Derail.
derail.
Derail. What does it mean?
It means to interrupt or stop progress.
Can you use it in a sentence?
One busy day shouldn't derail your routine.
That's a sentence worth remembering.
I completely agree.
So today we've learned 5 useful words.
Decompress.
Decompress,
Second nature.
decision fatigue,
Overcommit.
and derail.
Practice using them this week.
The more you use them,
The more natural they'll become.
in the next part,
We'll move into Say It Better, where we'll turn simple English into more natural, confident conversation. Then we'll finish today's lesson.
welcome back. We've reached the final part of today's lesson.
And now it's time for one of our favorite sections.
Say it better
In this section, we'll take simple English.
and make it sound more natural.
Let's get started.
Our first sentence is,
I'm very busy.
that's correct English.
but it's also very general.
Can we make it more natural?
Absolutely.
Try saying,
I've got a lot on my plate today.
I like that expression.
Me too.
It doesn't mean you have lots of food.
No.
It means you have many things to do.
Here's another one.
I'm tired after work.
That's fine.
But we can say it better.
How about
I need a little time to decompress.
much more natural?
And it uses today's vocabulary.
Exactly.
Let's try another.
I said yes to too many things.
A very common situation.
Definitely.
We could say,
I think I overcommitted this week.
that sounds smoother.
And it's shorter too.
Here's another sentence.
I always prepare my clothes before bed.
Can we improve it?
Yes.
Try this.
Preparing my clothes the night before has become second nature.
That's a beautiful expression.
It shows that the habit feels automatic.
Exactly. Next sentence.
I couldn't decide what to eat.
That's natural.
But we can explain it a little better.
Like this?
I was experiencing a little decision fatigue.
Perfect. Now people understand why it was difficult.
Exactly.
One more.
I missed one day, so I stopped. I think many people have said that before.
I know I have.
A better way to think is,
One missed day doesn't have to derail my routine.
I really like that sentence.
Me too.
It reminds us to keep going.
Instead of giving up.
Exactly.
So, what's the biggest lesson from today's conversation?
I don't think successful people have perfect routines.
Really?
No.
What do they have?
Simple routines they can repeat,
Day after day.
even when life gets busy.
I think that's a powerful idea.
Me too.
Sometimes we wait for the perfect Monday.
The perfect schedule.
Or the perfect amount of motivation.
But those moments don't always come.
That's true.
What really matters,
Is taking the next small step.
even if it's only 5 minutes,
Even if today wasn't perfect.
tomorrow is another opportunity.
Exactly.
Before we finish,
Let's do one quick review.
good idea.
Start your morning with simple habits.
Reduce unnecessary decisions.
Protect your time.
Don't overcommit.
Take short breaks.
Give yourself time to decompress.
Prepare for tomorrow.
And don't let one difficult day derail your progress.
Little routines.
Create big changes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Tell us in the comments,
Which routine from today's lesson would help you the most?
is it planning your morning
Taking better breaks?
or preparing for tomorrow the night before?
We'd really enjoy reading your answers.
If you enjoyed today's conversation,
Please give this video a thumbs up.
subscribe to Emily Teaching English for more relaxing English conversations.
And share this lesson with a friend who's learning English.
Remember,
You don't need a perfect routine.
you just need one you can keep.
Small steps
Repeated every day.
can lead to amazing progress over time.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Keep learning.
Keep practicing.
Keep believing in yourself.
We'll see you in the next lesson on Emily Teaching English.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.